Yatin, just before we went into the break, we were discussing delivery periods in the industry that you're in the camshaft business. 18 to 24 months from placing an order to delivery, that's pretty long. I mean,
that's for camshaft, yeah.
It's not an
Sometimes I believe it's worse than that. So, but it's never broken down below that. The cycle is very typical. I think what happens is, this is one of the products that most of the engine manufacturers thought could never be manufactured outside. They always said, camshafts is too intricate, we'll do it by ourselves.
Okay.
So when you now finally decide to give camshafts out, you say, all right, we're going to take more than abundant cost.
Fair.
A lot of testing.
Lot of testing. Then you'll go on to testing the camshaft in a stage to the engine. Use all sorts of techniques. Bad oil, high temperature, this, that, and you say, all right, we'll run this for 8 months. Why 8 months? We can't question as a supplier.
Okay.
And you would be very lucky after 8 months that camshaft hasn't failed. They'll take out that camshaft and that's all right. Mr. Shah, your camshaft is as good as when we put it in.
Okay.
Now, assuming it fails, you're looking for another 24 months.
Then you're going back to the drawing board.
Wow.
Tell us some interesting, peculiar trends in terms of clients. Who's most finicky? Is it sort of the Japanese players? Is it the Germans? Is it, the different clients that you deal with? Who's most finicky when it comes to these tests?
I think the people who are very finicky are Germans. Extremely finicky. They will not have a shortcut. They will go by the book, and no matter how frustrated you can get, they will still go by it. I mean, initially when I started this with the export business, and they said, all right, we're looking for camshafts 4 years from now. And I would say, why are you here today then? But today, we are actually working on programs very strongly focused 2011, 2012. And I know those programs where a lot of capex has already gone into these manufacturers. A lot of engines have been built. This is a little different from India. When you want to launch a car in India, 6 months.
And you can do it in 6 months. What are you saying?
I'm telling you, we've seen this.
Sure. No, sure. Global car manufacturers look, per se, 3 to 4 years into the future. The designing starts half a decade in advance. I understand.
They want to get a supplier up and running 1 year before the program actually happens.
Sure. Also, you need to be in place for business that will come to you at least a year from now.
What about the costs involved in this kind of a model? Because you're being so precise and you're taking so much of care in terms of testing and all of that. Time overruns, cost overruns?
Normally, the customer participates in this cost. They try and help you with whatever they can. They're not going to tell you that we'll give you all the equipment enough. But you need to say, all right, you've got 4 programs running for these Benz. 5th one coming in. Now, do you want to treat that as an expense or do you want to treat that as an investment?
Sure.
So when I say, all right, 5th one is an investment, go ahead and spend, and we look at 2011. Very seldom have these programs failed.
Okay.
I'm not saying that this doesn't happen in India. I'm just saying, when you say 2011, I would not suspect today that a program like this would go off. It continues to happen the way they say.
When you say that the finickiest people in the auto industry to supply to are the Germans,
no wonder they're so proud of their cars, and now we know why, exactly.
Exactly. Look, actually, a whole separate point. You supply to BMW and Porsche as things stand for the last 2 or 3 years. Have you ever thought of taking part payment in cars? I mean, you must. I mean,
I love to
Porsche and everything else.
I'd love to take a car, but the government would not allow me. I would pay 300% duty on it.
So, when you start doing business with a manufacturer of that level of quality, let's face it, they're very good, and you go to them and you say, I want to make camshafts for you. Does somebody at some point turn around and say, this guy actually wants to make camshafts for us? What makes him think that he can do that? I'm sure you have to face that.
And take us back to the original days when you initially went with all of these sort of proposals or the PowerPoint presentations to some of these guys.
One of the first thing was, I went to the joint venture partner, went to GM, and Janamora said, look, we need to have your Indian partner coming in here and actually explaining how this is going to happen in India. There were a lot of people in that room, and I distinctly remember them talking figures which I'd never heard of. We were used to saying 800 shafts a day, 1,000 shafts a day in India, good figures. The first time it came around, he said, we want 10,000 shafts a day. And I looked around and said, 10,000 shafts a day doesn't sound real. I said, it does sound real. And then those figures came about, and all the power presentations probably didn't help. I think it was my joint venture partner who had built up a different repute. They were not able to satisfy customers' requirements in terms of quality. So the pointed question was, your English partner hasn't met what we want for the last 15 years.
Wow.
You haven't seen our product. You were in India, and you claim that you want to manufacture products for ourselves. So it was vetoed.
Oh, straight off. Okay.
Somebody up in quality level said, no, I think we can take this bet.
Okay.
And this happened at lunchtime. Why? I don't have. and I don't even want to get into it. It's all history today, but he said we'll take this bet. And he betted, and today...
What is the costing thing? I mean, that's something which is usually attractive when it comes to an Indian vendor.
Because see, what happened was we were going to give it to the English partner. And the English partner was going to maintain the prices. So there was an add-on, we gave bits and pieces. I wouldn't say that we really offered. What came out very good was we set up this facility in 1 year. In the first audit, we had 0 non-conformance.
Okay.
We were looking at 5,000 parts per million as a defect rate.
Okay.
English or their competitors in Europe, 17,000, 19,000, 20,000.
Wow.
And each week you would say, right, next week would be better, don't put your arm around it, fair enough, it will be done.
Yeah.
From that day until today, we have supplied in excess of what? 9 million shafts, or 10 million shafts. We are averaging at 500 ppm.
Wow.
So customer's expectation is 5,000, we are at 500. So customer has recast expectations by saying that if anybody wants to globally supply camshafts into GM or Ford, would now be 2,500. Because PCL can do 500.
Then why can't you do 2,500? So here's the thing I want to ask you. Quality obviously plays its part. Now somebody comes and manufactures in India, or an Indian manufacturer puts up a place in India, a manufacturing facility in India. The fact remains is that it's a cheaper market to manufacture in, but it is a more difficult or slightly more disorganized market to manufacture in. So what are you doing that others aren't?
I think it is a difficult market, yeah, all right. The labor is not so, trained as much as what would you like to have. What separates us is very regimented manufacturing, disciplined manufacturing. We've never taken shortcuts. If a process has shown results, we have stuck to it, haven't changed it. If ever there was a change, it would be done very, very meticulously. People tend to say, all right, we've done this for 8 years now, come on. We can always have this done and this done, save cost and save. But that's never been our focus. Trying to save on the process to earn some money, never. So we've always kept our process very transparent. You walk into the shop floor, you wouldn't need anybody to guide you. You can actually have a walkthrough and come back and say, I understand the process, I understand what your company is doing in terms of manufacturing, delivery, quality. So that transparency is what we've managed to, have in the plant.
We'll take a short break on that note. On the other side, I really want to ask him this question. How is it like to be a mid-sized Indian company in this environment? Leaving aside the fact that they're from the auto space in general, how is life for speaking from the business point of view? That's the question we'll put up when we come back. Stay tuned.